All right. What's up, challengers? Hey, I got a special guest with me tonight. I wanted to do a quick little 2-minute video to get you hyped up. We got a group starting, the red group starting on Monday. I'm going to do a little series of interviews with people that have crushed the challenge, and Mike's one of them. He lost, what, 8.3% body fat inside of the 6 weeks.
That's right.
He went from like 200 and odd pounds to like 180.
Yeah, that's right.
Like that.
That's right.
And so there's just, we've had people have marginal success. We've had people have, like minimal, like just hit the target success. And we've had people crush it. So I want to interview 2 or 3 of the people that have just crushed it and they can tell you what they did, what the real world experience of it was like. And we were talking about it this morning, so I'm going to try to recreate that quickly. So tell me, Mike, as far as like the food piece, I think one of the biggest things I stress to the new people is like, you have to eat all the food. So tell me about like the preparations or the portions. Just tell me what it was like.
Yeah. So, to your point, I mean, it's 3 meals, it's the 2 shakes. I know you can be somewhat flexible depending on when you're working out, your lifestyle, but from my perspective, making sure you get all that food in every single day. In some cases, it seems like a lot. In some cases, it seems doable. I would also say, and I've taken done other meal plans through other workout programs, and I think the simplified nature of this one is really important. Makes it practical, makes it doable. I follow the sheet that you provide, Craig, and if it, I think there's a comment on there. If it wasn't on there, I didn't have it. I mean, there was no question. Didn't matter, if it was calories or no fat. If it wasn't on there, I stuck to it. It was only 6 weeks or, for however long, the challenge was. But I kept it, and I probably even within that list stayed within a pretty narrow band of, the proteins that I used. I was doing a lot of white fish, a lot of chicken, not really a lot of anything else. Vegetables, I was doing a lot of spinach, Brussels sprouts, a lot of spinach actually, both cooked and then raw in a salad. And that, for me, that simplified approach kind of kept me on track, I think. And I think it's easy to get overwhelmed when you've got a grocery list with a lot of ingredients. There's ways you can spice things up and keep a flavor profile palatable, which for me and from my perspective is the biggest challenge. I think some of the recipes in the recipe book that you gave me were really good and kind of kept me engaged on that front. Because look, it's, healthy eating is not sexy. It's not very flavorful, or can be. It's easy to be bland. And if you can spice it up, like some of the things the recipe book was doing, it keeps you engaged and kind of keeps you on the path. So
what was some of the top ones? I know it was like the garlic shrimp or the shrimp one or something.
The garlic shrimp. The garlic shrimp is good with the tomatoes and garlic and basil. I still have that probably once a week, maybe twice a week sometimes, because it's pretty easy to do. The egg bake where you do in the morning, where you're doing the ground turkey, and the broccoli and eggs, and you're kind of doing it in the little sort of muffin tins. That was really good. You can do that on a Sunday. You're doing, I think, like 1.5 or 2 of those a day. I forget what the recipe calls for, but that was really easy to do. You put some sriracha sauce on there and heat that thing, heat up in the microwave, put the hot sauce on, and you're golden. So yeah, those were 2 of my favorites. There's also like, it's the peanut butter or some sort of spicy Thai peanut butter beef.
Yeah,
that's really good. With like with the chili peppers on there. Like, I would say, like, for me, it was always tough to eat healthy, but yet stay engaged on when it came to just flavor profiles. Like, I like salty, like savory. Some of that stuff like was awesome. And I several times, like, God, like all these meal plans, like Beachbody meal plans, 1,000 ingredients, expensive grocery lists. Like, oh my God, now I can just put a couple of ingredients in a bowl, mix it, and within 5 minutes I'm eating lunch, which was awesome. And for me, it was a really, really big key to my success.
Tell me what you said earlier about just being able to have like the microwavable packets of whether it's Brussels sprouts or brown rice or whatever, whether that's at work or just to be able to stay on track. I thought that was helpful too.
Yeah, look, I mean, I like the rest of us sort of dads, busy lifestyle, kids, work, I found ways to not necessarily, well, when it came to the meal prep, to cheat the meal prep. So figure out ways instead of, where I can plop a container of rice in the microwave, and in a minute I've got that, half cup or cup portion, the steamed vegetables, to plop that in the microwave, be done in 5 minutes. And then you're really, that's 2/3 of your dinner, frankly. So now you're just basically, you're grilling chicken on a George Foreman or on your grill at home, or, you're baking fish, and you're golden. So it's again, that I've spent hours, on Sundays meal prepping, and I just don't have that kind of time anymore. So that for me was really key to kind of keeping me on track. No nonsense. I stuck with a handful of staple ingredients, a lot of white fish, a lot of chicken. I had a ton of spinach. Either I was cooking it in my eggs in the morning in an omelet, cooking it at night with my dinner as a side, or having it raw, at lunch with maybe a, can and a half of tuna fish, that half of an avocado and some sort of like, no calorie, non-fat, dressing. And that, those like probably 6 to 8 items, I always made sure for 6 weeks I had in my fridge. And that really, really worked.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect. And then as far as sticking with it, like you've already reiterated, if it's not on the list, don't eat it, which a lot of the people that have had marginal success or just barely skated by, they're having these little ticky-tack, little nickel and dime cheats, and that stuff adds up. But also talk to me about the quantities too. Like, did you make sure you hit like the full serving size on the meats? I mean, did you measure it out? Like, that's
Yeah. So when it came to the quantities, I had a food scale. I'd encourage anyone who's, kind of serious about this and looking to put a lot of heat and light around how they're evaluating this to go and buy one. Good to have. It's frankly educational, just to understand sort of from a portion size, if you're like, look, I think I'm eating too much, you may get that stuff on a food scale and find out you're not eating enough. And maybe vice versa. So I'd invest on that. I think generally, Craig, for 6 weeks, there were times when I was hungry, but I was never walking around like, oh my God, I mean, me, I was coming into the gym, 5-6 days a week, hitting it hard. I didn't feel like I was just dragging. I think I was eating lower calories than what I was used to, but I was eating healthier and I was giving my body the right fuel. Yeah, I was in a calorie deficit, which is why I lost weight. No, though, I didn't think I gained a pound of muscle. I was already, I was already a muscular guy coming in. I actually gained, I think, like a pound, but then lost 18 through the course of 6 weeks. So I was just eating healthy. You talk about cheats. I tell people, there's a couple of things to do. One, get your meals in, get the proper portion. For me, late night snacking is huge. Alcohol is huge. This is totally a game of inches, and stuff adds up over time. We were talking this morning about the creamer in your coffee. You talk, 60 or 120 calories. I mean, look, they're great. It's like liquid crack, and I'll be the first guy to admit it. But you talk, you do that 5 days a week, 7 days a week, times 6 weeks. Do the math. So, and again, this is find ways where you can, take a little bit from here, a little bit than there. Limit yourself. Don't deprive yourself. And make sure you're feeding your body. But that you got to remember that, you put the kids down to bed, or you're sitting, watching football late at night, and that hand of, Cheez-Its and, the glass of wine, look, it's going to go somewhere, man. And usually it's right around your waist. So, that's what this is really all about. It's the discipline on that. So that I would tell people, from a cheat perspective or those sort of pitfalls, if you're a snacker, figure out how you get around it, or a substitute or something like that. And just stay disciplined. You're going to learn.
Go to bed earlier if you have to, right?
That's right. I mean, if you have a good dinner and you get to a point at night where you're hungry again, some people tell you, well, that's your indication, like you're not going to bed early enough. So, drink lots of water, get your fluids, that helps as well. And I thought those were the keys to my success. So for me, that 6 weeks, it wasn't about the gym. It really was diet. Everything that I did and all of my results was not a function of, a different workout routine. I mean, again, it was different than what I was doing in the past, but, I think you and I would agree that, 90 to 95% of my results were in the kitchen this time around, which was really incredible and eye-opening to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, I'm 40 years old. I'm not, 23 years old, and my metabolism is completely different. It is totally diet. Totally diet.
Yeah. Yes, sir. All right, cool. Well, I'll let you go, man. Thanks for hopping on a Saturday night.
Yeah. Look, no worries,
Appreciate
man.
it, bro.
I would tell anyone who's, watching this video and either, looking to engage in the nutrition or just signed up, like it's a good investment. It's, you're investing in yourself, and that's the best investment you should do. And these guys get it right. So it worked for me, and I think it's worked for a lot of people. And it's, you got to stay disciplined. No one's going to do it for you, but if you're probably watching this video, it's a step in the right direction, and you're ahead of most. So, happy to help and pay it forward for the fam.
All right, sweet, Mike. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Have a good night. I'll see you soon.
Thanks. We'll see you soon.
All right, later.